Welcome, Middlers, to the Medium in the Middle podcast. My name is Stephanie, and I take you on a journey of self-discovery and spiritual exploration. I am a Reiki master teacher, a spiritual and business mentor, and of course, a psychic medium. And I am here to share my story and help you tap into your extraordinary abilities. Join me every Wednesday as we dive into the realms of intuition, energy healing, and all things mystical. Whether you're a seasoned spiritual seeker or just dipping your toes into the magical waters, this podcast is your go-to source for inspiration, guidance, and a whole lot of lessons and laughter along the way. Let's get started. Hello, Middlers. Welcome to episode 217. My name is Stephanie. I am the medium in the middle. And today we're talking about dreams, all things dreams. So I was on Instagram Live and pulling this week's card pull. I pull every week on Instagram Live with you guys so that you can vote. And I asked the audience, what are you interested in me talking about? I have a long list of podcast episodes. I have a few that I'm waiting a timeline out. I have a Q&A that I could have gone through that I asked you guys a few weeks ago. And a lot of people were asking about dreams, and I've actually never done a podcast episode on dreams. Not that I can recall in 216 episodes. So I think this is a great time to talk about it because my dreams have been off the charts recently, which is for a future episode, and I can't wait to share with you. So if you don't already, follow me on Instagram at Medium in the Middle. I only have one account. I've linked it in the show notes. Beware of scammers. I know I say this every week. I just want everyone to know that there's impersonators out there. I will never DM you. I'll never ask you for money. And there is only one Instagram that is the real Slim Shady, the real Medium in the Middle. And it's at Medium in the Middle. Medium in the Middle. So spring has sprung here in Banff. It is beautiful. It is sunny. Seasonal depression is fading away. I actually don't get that depressed in the wintertime. I really like it. I love having an excuse to stay inside and work. Confessions of a workaholic. But just something about the sunshine and long dog walks, it just brings that pep back into my step. And I was packing away all my winter coats finally because I was like, okay, it's the middle of May. I should be safe to put the boots away and the winter coats away. And I was talking to a friend and they were like, did you see the weather for next week? And I was like, no, I don't look at the weather ever. I feel like people either tell me about the weather or I just look outside. I was putting away my coats and someone's like, oh, you might want to look at the weather. And it's going back to -1 next week. So I kept out one winter coat. And I think that'll do her for, I always give myself to the end of May. The ski hills are open here. Well, one ski hill, Sunshine Village, is open until May Long weekend. And then on the Monday of May Long, there's always Slush Cup, which is a crazy party where it's the closing day of the hill. And it's usually a nice spring riding day and everything's slushy. Anyways, that's the chit chat for today. We are talking about all things dreams, which I'm excited to do. But before we get into that, I pulled 2 cards on Instagram with you guys. And it was a tie between the Kyle Gray Angel Guide book and the OG Colette Baron Reed. So I broke the tie and decided we should do Kyle Gray. And 2 cards came out, 2 cards, so I'll read them both. The first one is Raise Your Vibration. It's time to move up a level. It's time to fly high. You may have experienced some setbacks or felt low recently, but that is behind you now, and you have the opportunity to light up like never before. Everything in the entire universe is comprised of energy, and that energy vibrates, drawing towards its similar energy. So raising your vibration means aligning yourself with situations, people, places, and choices that you know will lift you up, support you, and help you grow. When this card appears, you have overcome the darkness and are moving into a time of opportunity. Like a phoenix rising from the ashes, you are reborn. Know that angels are acknowledging your commitment to growth. You are filled with inspiration now and attracting only the good. Woohoo! A good card. Raise your vibration. So interesting. I have seen or heard the word phoenix multiple times in the last week. And Here it is again. Maybe it's a sign. Gotta look up Phoenix. Gotta look up the meaning of a phoenix. Okay, the next one, which goes perfectly with today's theme, is intuition and downloads. Hearing high-pitched noises, seeing flickers of light, and having the sense that beings are visiting you in your sleep are all signs that you're receiving downloads from heaven. I love when the cards just speak the exact words of what the podcast is about. Literally, when you're visiting in your sleep, we're talking about dreams. When you draw this card, your angels want you to know that the feelings you are having and the intuitive urges that you have been feeling are divinely inspired. If you feel that you have been having psychic insights into a particular situation and have been wondering if you can trust them, this card is reassuring you that they are indeed correct. I mean, do I need to still do a podcast episode, or is that sentence enough for you guys? This is a time when you are able to see, hear, and feel beyond the human senses. Your intuition is becoming stronger, and you are in touch with angels, guides, and other divine beings who are encouraging your growth and connection to the universe. Fun. I like it. I always like it, but the cards are always fun. Intuition and downloads raise your vibrations. I have been thinking about offering card pulls on their own. I've been seeing some people do like card drops where they'll send you a video, and I really like that idea. So it's ruminating. We'll see what happens. But I've been really enjoying pulling cards, and I've been getting good at it. With practice, lots of practice comes skills. So I have a lot of travel coming up in the next few weeks. It's May long weekend here in Canada, and then the weekend after that, I am in a friend's wedding in Vancouver, and then the weekend after that, I am going to Ontario for my cousin's baby shower. It's probably the only baby shower in my life I will attend, but she's like my sister, so I have to go to that, and then I come back from that, and then I'm going to Florida. So lots and lots of travel in the next month for me, but that should be fun. And then we are hunkering down pretty much for the rest of the year and working. But I'm excited that life is lifing. The only announcement that I have for you guys this week is June Reiki trainings are up. We're done with the May Reiki trainings because of all that travel. So when I come back, there is a Reiki level 2, June 8th and 9th. And there is a Reiki level 1, June 22nd and 23rd. So we are back to regular schedule programming in June. May was a little funky with the dates just because of all that travel. And my business is turning 4 in the first week in June. And my dog Archie is turning 3, which is crazy, crazy, crazy. So there'll be some fun stuff for my birthday. There's always a giveaway. We're always doing something. Those are all the announcements. Okay, so let's talk about dreams. Now, I want to start off by saying there's one saying or rule that I live by when it comes to dreams, and that is if you remember your dreams, they're a message. If you don't remember your dreams, they're not. So we don't have to force ourselves to remember our dreams. We don't have to be going ham to try to really force this. If you're meant to remember a dream, you will. And a few things that you want to pay attention to are reoccurring dreams. If you have the same theme in a dream over and over again, do you notice anyone familiar in a dream over and over again? Some other things to be aware of energetically are how you sleep. Do you fall asleep easy? Do you stay asleep? Do your dreams wake you up in the night? Do you feel rested? And if you don't feel rested in the morning, or you feel like your dreams are keeping you up and your brain is constantly working, this is where you'll want to put some boundaries on your sleep. So, for example, for me is that spirit is not allowed to visit me in my sleep. They're not allowed to wake me up at night. They're not allowed to sit on my bed. They're not allowed to send me dream visitations. They're not allowed to come tell me something in my dreams. Just like absolutely no spirit communication when I'm sleeping. I take my sleep very seriously. I sleep 8 to 10 hours a night. I need that amount of sleep to function for my life and everything that I do. And I just don't mess with my sleep at all. Now, if I do dream, I always know it's psychic, it's something for the future, or it is a visitation that's important. So, a few episodes ago, I did do a podcast episode where I talked about Nonna coming to say goodbye. And, I think that's an very special circumstance where someone was coming to say goodbye and they came in my dreams. So if you missed that episode, oh wow, that podcast was much longer ago than I thought. It was episode 177. Nonna came to say goodbye. I also have a podcast episode where I had a dream that my dog was going to run away. And I thought I was just being paranoid, but then he actually did run away and I knew it. So that was episode 186. Okay, so our basic starting rules are if you remember the dream, it might be significant. If it's gibberish, it's gibberish. If you forget, that's fine. It's okay. The next important thing is if you are being bothered by your dreams, if you are not getting proper rest, if you are being woken up in the middle of the night, if you are not enjoying messages in your dreams, if for any reason you don't like anything that's happening in your dreams, you're just going to set a boundary. So to set boundaries on your dreams, I recommend saying them out loud before you go to sleep every night, just repeating to yourself. Again, boundaries are always what you want and what you don't want. So if you want to have a restful sleep, to sleep through the night, to feel rested in the morning, to sleep, 8 consecutive hours, those are the things you're saying. And if you don't want spirit to visit you, if you don't want messages in your dreams, if you don't want family members to come and visit you, then that is what you're saying in your dreams as well. So always just declare what you want and what you don't want. And just like everything else, you want to start to pay attention to your dreams. When do you dream? When do you not dream? When are you more active? When you're around people, when you're going to a family event, on work days, do you dream more? On weekends, do you dream more? Study yourself. Start to learn your patterns. As an example, I know that my dreams are usually nothing or gibberish. If I do remember my dreams, they're always psychic, but that's pretty rare. Like I would get one maybe once a month, I would say, if that. However, when I teach Reiki, I always have bad sleeps the Friday and the Saturday night of Reiki trainings. So my Reiki trainings are Saturday and Sunday, but I start to prepare for them energetically on Friday. And I prepare my space, I prepare my energy. I just do a lot to hold space for the students, for the attunements, for what we're doing, for what we're opening. It's a very big deal to me and for the space that I'm doing and holding for my students. So I usually always have bad sleeps Friday and Saturday of Reiki trainings, and then I go back to regular sleep on Sunday because I am literally holding their energy for the weekend. So I always have gibberish sleeps on Friday and Saturday. It's always with a bunch of people that I don't know. It's always multiple dreams in the night. And it took me a while to learn that, this is just because I'm holding my Reiki students' energy. It's because I'm preparing to attune them. I'm attuning them. I'm holding space for the course for this time. And then as soon as I clear everyone's energy Sunday after the course, I sleep fine Sunday. So this is something that I've just come to know is going to happen, and I won't change that because I am holding their energy and space for them all weekend long. So it's fine that my students' energy is in my dreams and that's how it shows up. But it did take me a long time to learn that, and it did take me a while to realize, I don't sleep good on Friday and Saturday nights every Reiki training because it's my students' energy. So it's just a lot of gibberish, just a lot of movement. It's just a lot of like brain action, like thoughts and thoughts and thoughts. So start to pay attention to your dreams. Moving into if you get premonitions. Now, some people get premonitions of people passing or of things that they don't want. That is an easy fix with a boundary. You declare you don't want to know that information. You declare you are not open to that information. You declare that, again, what do you want? What do you not want? Usually, if people are coming to give you a little hint, it's so that you have a chance to say goodbye. It's so that you can do whatever you need to do before they pass. So don't be afraid of things like that. But if you don't like it, set a boundary. For other premonitions, write them down and keep them in your back pocket. And when they happen, you can say, oh, back in October, I had a dream that this would happen. Okay, let's start to see if my dreams come true. How often do they come true? What parts of my dreams come true? So again, just like how I always say, you're building your energy manual, you're learning how your body works with this, that, and the other thing. We also want to start to understand how your body works with your dreams. What are you interpreting? What are you knowing? What's coming true? What did you dream about? You can keep a little dream journal. The only thing that I highly recommend for this is a few details and the date. The dates are very important. So May 14th, da 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 da. June 21st, da 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 da. Because when you go back and look, you want to see when you had the dream in response to what you were dreaming about and what's going on. So next I want to talk about dream interpretations because I've been getting really into this and I've been having a lot of conversations with mostly my mentees, the people in my mentorship group. I want to know what they're dreaming. I want to know what themes are coming up. I want to see what patterns are coming up. And we usually look at things sometimes very matter of fact. And especially when it comes to dreams, you want to start to see the themes. You want to start to see the reoccurring patterns. You want to think about the emotions. You want to think about what was happening. So in your dream, if you were giving birth, but you're not pregnant and you don't plan to be pregnant, you want to start to think, what is birthing in your life that's something new? What's the new chapter that's starting? What do you feel like you're in the middle of, bringing to creation? So it's not always literal, and you want to think outside the box when it comes to interpreting your dreams. I also love a quick Google search. I am not above that. If you're not sure what the meaning of a raven is, why are you dreaming of deer? Look it up. And if the meaning resonates with you, great. And if the meaning doesn't resonate with you, then leave it. But sometimes just being able to look things up is interesting. And sometimes it'll give you meanings and explanations of what is going on in your dreams. But even when you start to talk about your dreams, usually people are like, oh yeah, and this makes sense because of this. So my tips for interpreting dreams are to either talk about them with a friend and be like, hey, I had a dream about this. I'm wondering what it could mean. Do you have any other ways to look at it? Do you have any perspective on this? And just getting another person's perspective on it, I find when someone else tells me about their dreams, I'm like, yeah, duh, it's about this. But it's because I have no lens. Like, I can't always do that for myself. But when someone else tells me something, it's like, oh yeah, it's that. Duh. So just having those conversations. Another thing that I recommend, and I know this sounds silly, but it works, is talking to yourself out loud in the shower. So if you had a dream about something, you could be like, why did I have a dream about a big scary man Actually, let's use a real life example. So I think I did a podcast episode about this where we solved a 14-year mystery in 2 questions. And I started talking about how we need to ask the right questions and you'll get the right answer. So I had this mentee and she said that there was this big scary man in her house that was taller than the door frame, and she saw them and her kids saw this man and she was afraid and he kept showing up and she was worried about dreaming because she didn't want this big scary man in a big black coat to appear. And I was like, okay. So if you saw him and your kids saw him, that means that he's connected to both of you. And do you know anyone who would be a big, strong man wearing black who would be bigger than a door frame? And she was like, no, no, no. And I was like, let's think about, dads, grandparents, uncles. And then she's like, oh yeah, well, their grandpa looks like that. I'm like, is their grandpa passed? She's like, oh yeah, he is. I was like, okay, so could this big man who looks like their grandpa, who you are seeing and your kids are seeing, be their grandpa? Oh. So sometimes we just need to connect the dots, but the dots aren't dotting because we're not thinking about those things, right? It's hard. This is why I like to always describe to new mediums that being a sitter is hard because you're trying to think of everything, right? Like if I say, who's the J name? You're like, John, Josh, Jesus, I don't know, and you forget that your dad's name is Jonah. It's hard when you have information coming at you. I get it. So especially with dreams, it's hard to be like, who's the big scary man that was really tall? Oh, that's my children's grandpa who looks exactly like that. Yeah, that makes sense why he would be around us. So usually saying it out loud works. So talk to yourself in the shower, talk to yourself in the car. I'm not a journaler, but if you're a journaler, this would work. Because we're not dealing with the throat chakra, you don't have to say it out loud, but you could journal it if you prefer that method and if you have the time. And then another thing that was brought up around dreams is around trusting your dreams. And just like building trust with anything else, your intuition, mediumship, psychic abilities, anything, you are building the trust. So yes, you're not going to have a dream and just trust it the first time. But hopefully on the 10th time, on the 15th time, you are trusting it. And you can test this too. I've had dreams where I thought a friend was in the hospital. I dreamt about them. I messaged them the next day. Turns out they were in the hospital. I've had dreams that my cousin was pregnant, the cousin that I'm going to see for her baby shower. And I had 3 dreams that she was pregnant before she told me she was pregnant. So when she told me, I was like, yeah, I know for the past month I've been dreaming about this baby. I've had dreams of people coming to say goodbye, so I usually know if someone's going to pass, if I've had a dream about them, or if I've seen them in my dreams, there's usually a reason why they're there. I've had dreams that things were going to happen. I was going to see someone, something was going to happen, an event was going to occur. But what I had to do was take every single time I had a dream and that was right and count it as evidence. And be like, okay, yep, you thought so-and-so was in the hospital, and they were. Tick, like +1 point, little star for me. Oh, you thought your cousin was pregnant. 3 weeks later, she finally told you she was pregnant. Tick, you were right, you had that dream. Oh, you had a dream about Nonna and that she was coming to say goodbye. A week later, you found out she passed away. Tick, you were right. Like, we literally need to keep track and give ourselves gold stars to be like, you were right, you were right, you were right. So eventually you don't need the gold star anymore because you know you're right. You're like, yeah, when I have a dream, it means this. Yeah, when I have a dream, it means this. And it's going to mean something different for everyone. So mine are usually psychic dreams, sometimes mediumship, but it's usually something to happen in the future. Or I get very energy dreams. So if I'm like energetically connected to someone, I'll know what's going on with them through my dreams. Same thing with my students. I will feel a lot of gibberish, just that's energy. So what I encourage you all to do is for the next month, write down any dreams you remember. And if you don't remember them, leave it. Don't force it. And just write down the date and what you remember, who was in it, the themes, the feelings, the emotions. What was the overall theme of what was going on in the dream? Were you lost? Were you chasing? Were you looking for something? Were you like, what was going on? And then after a month, go back and look at your list and see if there's anything repeating, any patterns. Did anything end up happening? Did anything come true? Is something playing out in your life? So it'll be very interesting to see. And the last disclaimer that I want to leave you with is not everyone is a dreamer. Not everyone will receive messages in dreams. It's just like to me, I think of it like another clair. So not everyone is going to be clairaudient. Not everyone's going to be able to hear things. I believe that's true with dreams as well. I believe some people are good and they will receive messages with dreams. Some people, it's just not their thing. So it'll be few and far between, or it'll be nothing in their dreams. Which leads me to another disclaimer. If you are someone who is a bad sleeper who doesn't get much sleep, who doesn't feel rested in their sleep, if you would describe yourself as a bad sleeper, I would not recommend inviting dream visitation or dream messages because you are quite literally working in your sleep. So if you're already a bad sleeper, I wouldn't add this to the plate. I would heavily boundary it. For me personally, I heavy boundary it with spirit, but I kind of let these one-offs happen because I get so much good sleep. I would say I'm a good sleeper. I get 8 to 10 hours a night. I fall asleep and I wake up in the morning. I feel rested in the morning. I'm a very good sleeper, which I didn't know how lucky I am to be that until I started meeting all my clients, who a lot of them have problems with sleep. So if you already have problems with sleep, don't push your signs to the sleep world. Keep them when you're conscious. Another thing I will say, I didn't realize how much I had to say about dreams, is your dreams are your subconscious mind. So anything that is sneaking in your subconscious mind can be things that you're ignoring in your conscious mind. So those are things that you're ignoring in your waking time. You're ignoring when your eyes are awake. It's easier to bother your subconscious in your dreams than it is to get you to notice in your conscious mind when you're awake. So sometimes your dreams also are highlighting things that you're ignoring or missing in your waking world. So be very aware of that. You want to see that in your pattern. You want to see that in your 30-day dream journal. Are things coming up that your conscious mind is missing, so it has to sneak into your subconscious? These are things we want to pay attention to. So that's my little rant on dreams for today. Thank you for that inspiration. I have a lot of good episodes of my dreams recently that will be coming. I'm sneaking them hard. I'm cliffhangering you guys because they will be coming soon, and it will be a series, and might be life-changing. We'll see. Anyways, so that will be coming. But if there's anything else you want to know about dreams, please let me know over on Instagram, and I can make more episodes if I have the knowledge around it. I've been really working with dreams and energy. I would say for the past 3 years, I've been trying to get better. Before that, I was kind of very unaware. I was like, I don't know. But I have been working on it, especially with my mentees and energy work sessions. I do want to know what's going on in your dreams and your sleep. What is your subconscious mind doing? So it's very interesting to learn about yourself and to get to know your patterns. And just again, if you don't dream, if you're not a dreamer, don't feel bad. You're not missing anything. Sleep is more important for you. Pay attention when you're awake. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to this podcast. I release new episodes every Wednesday. Wherever you're listening, I would love and appreciate a rating and a review. It is a free, fast way to show the podcast some love and support. Send this episode to a friend if you think they might like it. But until next Wednesday, Middlers, when I see you in your ears, I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye, everybody.